first thing the woman did after her rebirth was to empty her savings and buy an old, unoccupied house, simply because it wouldn't be long before the old house was slated for demolition. Living this life anew, she would never again hand over her wealth to her husband. It turned out that in her previous life, when the county built a highway, her husband's family home fell within the demolition zone. They were offered 10 million yuan in compensation, but unexpectedly, her husband's family demanded 50 million. After repeated failed negotiations, the developer decided to reroute the highway to pass through the old house in the neighboring village. Still, he sent his secretary for one final negotiation. Their conversation was overheard by the woman passing by. The next day, she tactfully reminded her father-in-law to settle for what he had. Seeing no progress after a month, he reluctantly signed the agreement under her persuasion. Yet the family immediately blamed the woman, accusing her of costing them 40 million yuan. The husband even killed her with a wine bottle. As she lay dying, the woman swore if she had another life, she would never meddle with these ungrateful, cold-hearted wolves again. When she opened her eyes again, she had reincarnated back to the day of the demolition. But before she could grasp the situation, the village chief arrived to announce the demolition. Upon hearing the compensation was only 10 million yuan, her father-in-law flew into a rage, declaring outright that without 50 million yuan, they would never vacate. The village chief could only storm off in frustration. Seeing this, the woman praised their resolve, insisting not a single penny of the 50 million could be compromised. They then began discussing how to divide the compensation. Her husband's family argued that this money must not be shared with outsiders. At this thought, the husband immediately demanded divorce from the woman. Little did he know, she had been waiting for him to say those words. The next day, they hastily finalized the divorce. Before leaving, the woman reminded her husband's family that the house could fetch at least 100 million yuan in compensation. Under her persuasion, the family stormed to confront the developer in a rage. Meanwhile, the woman met with the real estate agent to arrange the purchase of an old house in a neighboring village. Without his interference this time, the developer would surely reroute the road. But when the agent learned of the woman's request, he explained the owner had gone abroad and would be difficult to contact anytime soon. The woman immediately took the agent to investigate everywhere. Meanwhile, the husband's family continued their tantrums. A month passed, and the developer's rerouting deadline approached. Finally, the agent reached the owner and swiftly completed the property transfer for the woman. Meanwhile, the husband, convinced he was about to become a billionaire, rushed to take out loans and splurge recklessly, but the developer showed no signs of starting work, so they went to obstruct the construction. The boss had to come personally to negotiate with them. He intended to give the family one last chance, but to his shock, they demanded 100 million. The boss could only storm off in anger. This scene was witnessed by the woman from afar. He knew her opportunity was about to arrive.